In this video, I will share with you top 4 best gaming laptop under $700 in 2024, proving that dominating the digital battlefield doesn't require breaking the bank. Let's dive in and find your perfect budget battle station. Number 1, Acer Nitro 5. First up, we have the Acer Nitro 5. This one's rocking a 9th gen Intel Core i5 processor, which isn't the newest, but it can still handle some less demanding games. The NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 graphics card is a decent entry-level option, but keep in mind you might need to tweak settings for newer titles. The 8GB of DDR4 RAM is a bit on the low side, but it's manageable. Storage isn't bad with a 256GB NVMe SSD. The 15.6 Full HD IPS display is a nice touch, and the backlit keyboard is a plus for late-night gaming sessions. My experience, while the Nitro 5 is a decent choice, it feels a bit dated with the older processor. If you're mainly playing esports titles or older games, it might be okay, but for newer releases, you might be looking for a bit more power. Number 2, Asus TUF Gaming A15. This Asus TUF A15 brings some exciting features to the table. It boasts a newer AMD Ryzen 5 7535HS processor, which is more power efficient and keeps thermals in check. The real star here is the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2050 graphics card. While not a powerhouse, it offers some ray tracing capabilities, a feature usually missing in this price range. The 8GB of DDR5 RAM is a welcome upgrade, and the 512GB PCIe NVMe SSD provides ample storage. Plus, you get a beautiful 144Hz refresh rate display for smoother gameplay. My experience, the Asus TUF A15 is a strong contender. The newer processor, RTX graphics, and high refresh rate display make it a compelling option for gamers on a budget who want to experience some next-gen features. Number 3, HP Victus 15. The HP Victus 15 also packs a punch with the AMD Ryzen 5 7535HS processor. It doubles the RAM to a whopping 16GB of DDR5, which is fantastic for multitasking and smoother performance. Storage remains at 512GB with a PCIe M2 SSD. Again, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2050 graphics card is present, offering some ray tracing capabilities. The 144Hz refresh rate display enhances the gaming experience. My experience, the HP Victus 15 goes toe-to-toe with the Asus TUF A15. The extra RAM gives it a slight edge for multitasking, but otherwise the specs are quite similar. Ultimately, it might come down to personal preference for brand or aesthetics. Number 4, Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 3i. The Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 3i takes a slightly different approach. It features an 11th gen Intel Core i5 processor, which sits between the older 9th gen in the Acer Nitro 5 and the newer AMD Ryzen in the other two options. The graphics card is also the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650, similar to the Acer. However, the IdeaPad Gaming 3i bumps up the RAM to 16GB DDR4, which is great for multitasking. The storage remains at 512GB with a standard SSD. The display is a standard Full HD panel with a 60Hz refresh rate. My experience, the IdeaPad Gaming 3i is a solid option if you prefer an Intel processor. The 16GB of RAM is a plus, but the lack of a high refresh rate display and the older GTX 1650 graphics hold it back a bit compared to the other options with RTX capabilities.